We have to be okay with being silly on a small scale. We got to learn to be silly on a small scale. Being silly on a small scale. On the journey, we got to be willing to do these extravagant things on a small, silly scale. A very small, silly scale. Let me give you an example. I always want to do, I will have this fantasy of building pyramids and growing frankincense tree orchards. With the pyramids, I want to do all kinds of magical experiments inside of them. Think pyramid power. These fantasies of pyramids and orchards. I don't want to grow orchards because I don't have enough land, and I thought it would be silly to grow trees here. But here's the thing. Start where you can. The story of the goldfish, how goldfish only grow bigger when they're in bigger containers, that the goldfish is limited to the size of the container that it's in. Give it a bigger container and it grows. On some as above, so below type shit. We don't expand out of our current container until we maximize the space. We're kind of going backwards. I have all this space on either side of me. A lot of space. I can grow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. I can grow at least 12 to 18 beautiful frankincense trees. They'll be kind of cramped, but it'll have the vibe. We'll say 12. Then I'll fill my space, and then what? But think about the energy that unfolds when we do something like that. When we fill the container that we're in, we have conversations with people, and they go, "You're doing what?" They see your land. Oh my God! Now I'm making videos. That dude's got 12 frankincense trees growing in his front yard. That's wild. He's harvesting his own resin, his own tears, his own green hojari. He's making his own extracts of and ointments and body creams and lotions and anti-carcinogenic and anti-wrinkle and aging creams from the trees, that the resin that he's harvesting in his front yard on that little piece of land that he's renting. Wow. Here's the magic behind that. There's a magic, and then it's not as sexy, but in reality how it actually unfolds. The conversations you start to have, say I post a video where someone sees a dozen of these magical trees in the front yard, and they go, "Keith, what the opportunities open up?" They go, "There's a spot of land opening up over here. There's someone I want you to meet. There's someone I want to talk to you. There's an idea that I want to share with you." You start opening up synchronistic moments to follow. It's like you leave your own breadcrumbs. A lot of people think that the universe is magically opening doors for you. The universe is responding to the input that you're giving it. So the synchronistic moments aren't something that the universe is doing for you, but a code you're putting into the universe. You're saying, this is the direction I'm going, and because of that, because of those thoughts, because of those actions, then the people you hang out with change. The conversations you have with them change. Your motivations change. What wakes you up in the morning changes. The way you, you know what I can't get out of my head? I'm going to show you guys. Out of nowhere, I got the urge to build these. These are going to be my 2 raised beds. It's too early. It's too cold still to put these out. But this is top shelf soil, plenty of aeration. I'm going to let it sit. I put all the mycorrhizal inoculants inside of this. I put plenty of perlite, so it gets plenty of drainage because my Franks don't like a lot of water. I put alfalfa meal in here so they can break down in the rain. I buried logs with these so the logs can break down and attract microorganisms, attract mushrooms, attract bugs, attract everything that I need, all the organic matter in here. Things like this. Now the excitement that I was hoping that I would get if I got a big piece of land is happening now. And think about then the reason why I didn't do it before is because, I'm just renting. What if I move? Who cares? What if? Now I'm stoked because I have my garden going. I'm slapping on the tangerines. Why not? I could have 4-year-old frankincense orchard in my front yard and we'd be slapping right now. We have to be okay with being silly on a small scale. We got to learn to be silly on a small scale. Being silly on a small scale, that's how we enjoy the ride. That's how we wake up. That's how we keep hope. That's how we keep enthusiasm. That's how we have something to look forward to. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be plants and trees and stuff like that. It could be whatever. We just gotta start somewhere. We gotta get the ball rolling somewhere. We have to fill the container first before a new one presents itself. I talk about this a lot on my channel. It's like if you want big things to happen, but you have a really small channel for big things to happen, how is the energy going to flow into your container? If my lifestyle is mostly watching TV, if my lifestyle is mostly not doing things, How can I expect a massive amount of energy to flow into my life? What for? Why would I need a massive amount of energy to flow into my life if my life isn't set up in such a way that caters to massive amounts of energy flowing into it? Think I'm meditating every day. The business that I wanted to start, I've mapped out a game plan. I've started my checklist. I've been knocking off 1 through 5 on my checklist. See what I'm saying? I've had the conversations. I have 2 meetings next week that are going to propel my vision, that are going to propel my dream forward. All these things I'm doing are symbolically making a wider channel for energy and abundance to flow into my life. And as a result, it does. All these things that I'm doing literally, in a literal sense, as I fill my yard with trees and I run out of space, then what's going to happen? I'm going to need more space. Then I spill out the way life started in the oceans and spilled out onto land. Once it covers the land, it spills out into the sky. And then once the land, sea, and sky have been inhabited, now we're going to go colonize Mars. Now we're spreading out into the solar system. Then we're going to spread out further into the galaxy. And then ad infinitum, right? But we have to fill the container that we're in. And I get it, because for me, the hard part is, well, in my head, I'm picturing the final product. The acres of frankincense trees and copal trees and dragon's blood trees all surrounding a giant pyramid. Do I really think it's going to start like that? I can't even fill my front yard with trees. I can't even put a little 5-foot pyramid in my own front yard. But I expect to build a giant one. I expect to have a whole orchard. There's extremely practical sides always to our favorite woo-woo stuff that we should really focus on, because that's how it unravels. That's how it doesn't make much sense diving into the woo-woo part, other than the feel good, other than the mysticism, other than the magical feel, other than the like anything is possible sort of ambience that we create, which is wonderful and essential. But how it unravels is actually very earthly. It's very material. It's very practical. It's very unsexy. I'm sorry, but such is life. Hey, if you want to grow an orchard, then plant trees everywhere you go. Who cares if you're renting? Plant the trees, Keith. Who cares if you're probably gonna move? Plant the trees anyways. Take them with you. It's possible, or leave them here for the next person. Who cares? It is my job to do the things that my soul desires to do, and growing, bringing life, bringing beauty, bringing aesthetic pleasure, bringing back the old world and mixing it with the new. Some of my fantasies with the trees and the pyramids is like, all right, I want to bring that stuff now into this world. I want someone to know what it feels like, or I want to know what it feels like to be sitting surrounded by 4,000-year-old trees with 4, 5, 6,000 years of history behind them, and a campfire telling stories, burning frankincense on a coal around the fire, telling stories with the homies, drinking a beer, playing music, whatever it is. Like, I want to feel that. But that feeling can be felt at all levels. Here, today, as soon as tomorrow I can start this. As soon as tomorrow. And I'm not sure why people get caught up in the idea that it can't happen tomorrow. Caught up in this, well, I got to do with this, and that first. It's like, to get to the end result, you got to do this, and that. But if you can't find a way to capture the feeling of the end result during the process, you're doomed to failure. But I say that like every other business seminar. But the thing is, when you think about it, you will be getting the satisfaction throughout the way. It's not like you have to it's not like I have to force myself to get satisfaction out of seeing frankincense trees grow. I can, like I said, I have them all going in the greenhouse right there because it's cold. But as soon as March comes around, let's say mid-March, I'm going to throw them in the ground, and I will be stoked from day one. I can't imagine myself being that much happier when I have an orchard of them, because my happiness comes from watching things grow. My happiness comes from giving life. My happiness comes from seeing something aesthetically transform before my eyes, seeing a barren piece of land go from barren to beautiful and majestic. You have this empty piece of land, and now you throw some trees, you bring in life, you bring in animals, you bring in birds, you bring in crickets. Now the sounds change. Right now, people want to hang out with you because you've created a magical space. Now you're bringing high vibes and energy. Now people want to play music. Now people want to have parties. Now people want to hang out, barbecue. Now people want to sit around the campfire, right? So I love the aspect of seeing something go from nothing to something in a very magical sense. And that starts from nothing. The moment I begin that path is happiness for me. But I believe it happens for everyone. I believe it happens for everyone. I know it happens for everyone. Whether you want to, given the thing you want to do really inspires you, given your course, given your goals, given your direction truly inspires you, right? And which involves, are you going to be able to make money? Is it are you able to give back to the community, right? Because benefiting the community has a massive impact on our success, our driving, even if that community is just your family or just your friends, right? It doesn't have to be the war. I'm not trying to ask anyone to be fucking Superman here. And I think that's it. As long as you're hitting those factors, that's why I say it's so important to know thyself. But I say meditating is so important, and awareness is so important, and not having so many distractions is important, and why going out into nature is so important, because the quietness and the solitude, and when everything else gets cut out, we have a better chance of hearing our soul speak, if I may be so poetic. If grant me some poeticism to say that in solitude our soul speaks clearly, most clearly, and therefore our decisions are more in alignment with our soul, so to speak. I'm just trying to drop tidbits of inspiration for you guys. I'm like I said, I have a cold right now, and so I can't really record audiobooks. But thank you guys for hanging out. It's the year of the dragon. Make sure you guys are putting out gold, oranges, yellow, right? Make sure you're bringing in that dragon energy. Anyone born in 88, what up? Or 12, or 2000. We don't have too many younger squad here, but what's before 88? 76? 76? Anyone 76 here? Shout out to my dragons. Shout out to my squad. I love you guys. Thank you for being here and hanging out. We're running out of sunlight. I'll see you soon. All right, take it easy.